Right now, let's talk about your teen and how they communicate. They may be experts in sending text messages, Facebook messages, Snapchats to their friends, but when it comes to real world communication, do they know how to conduct themselves in a job interview, or would they know how to make their own dentist appointment? Well, here to talk more about that part of the story, Potential Magazine publisher Pam Mashburn, and from Baptist Health, Elizabeth Williams. Thank you both for being here with us. And you work with young people all the time, both of you, and Pam, of course, that's the center of your magazine, and what you want to do is reach teens and their parents. But how do you teach these communication skills, and why is that falling off so much?
Well, it's so hilarious that with Baptist Health, where I'm over the Exploring program, so I'm 9 years in dealing with teens, 14 to 20
Bless
years
your
old.
heart. Yeah.
Yes, I know. Well, they picked the person with no kids to do it. So I've had these crazy experiences. I want to say crazy because you would think that they know, but they don't know. And so with going into healthcare fields or whatever the field is, it's one of my jobs as a mentor to teach our kids that, hey, texting and calling are two different things when you're talking on a professional level. And so we try to get them not to text at hours of the night when it's like they're up at midnight and they feel the need to text me about something, about a recommendation letter. And so,
well, and you know, you think that this is going to be the kids where maybe the parents have 3 jobs and they aren't paying attention to that. But even my own son got so excited about getting a job that on Sunday he's calling somebody's cell phone.
Right.
And he should have done it on Monday. And I was like, you did what?
Yeah.
You know, so they don't understand there's boundaries,
And
professional
what's scary
boundaries.
is that instead of us being the example for them, sometimes the parents fall into that same thing. When they sit there ignoring us for so long on their phones, we go, hey, I got a phone too. Let me see what's up with my friends or whatever. So we fall into that. So what do you tell them not to do when it comes to communication?
Of course, don't text, or if it's professional, don't text or call within work hours.
Yeah.
Work hours are when I want to hear from you. Sorry.
Yeah.
One of the things that someone has done, one of the students listed me as a reference. Well, she didn't tell me. And when you have several students or you communicate with so many, you're like, who was that? That is a big, for adults as well.
Yes.
Don't list someone as a reference without letting them know that you're
If
going
you want
to
a good
do that.
reference.
Yeah, if you want a good reference.
And you can't expect them to vouch for you if you haven't even told them. You have to be prepared for that, and that's very, very important. So don't text or call after hours, if it's especially if it's a professional message. But then too, if you know the person, like for instance, we have crazy hours here. They're having to be here so early. So if you know that person does have those crazy hours, or they're doing something that you know of, don't try to interrupt them during that time either.
There is a such thing as email. That's why I try to tell my students. There's a texting and email. Like, they're two different things. And if it's a certain hour, go ahead and email that person. That way you're not interrupting anything, and they can get back to you at their leisure. Just teaching those things are really important for those teenagers.
Well, and I think another one that you talked about is don't put stuff on social media that you don't want your employer to know. And that might be a hard lesson for them to learn.
It is, but they just assume nobody but my friends are on Facebook with me, or just nobody, that only the people that I've accepted. But there are ways to see those things, and sometimes that could be the difference between you getting this opportunity and not getting
and
this
I tell my
opportunity.
students that there's actually a job now where that's their job, is to search through your social media. So just know someone's looking, and so just
keep that in
informing
mind.
them about that.
So what do you do? What do you tell them to do when it comes to communication?
We've got a list, and I'll try to go through it quickly. But when you're writing emails or texts, make sure that they are professional. Not to, you need to keep
no LOLs in there.
Yeah, they need to understand the difference between formal and informal. And a boss is going to be formal.
No emojis in those.
If you commit to something, put it on your calendar right away. I loved this one. Of course, reread your emails.
Say that one again.
Reread
and
your emails.
Text messages.
Yes. So that they don't get misinterpreted. And then the other piece is, and I love this one, is learn to smile. And I think you were going to
look at her. She's
smiling. Always smile.
I mean, when you're on the phone with someone, they can tell if you're not. And I try to stress that to my students. I can tell if you're asking for something, but you're in a bad mood or whatever it may be. So sometimes just learn to smile. I mean, it helps everything.
Did you have someone interview and they look like they really didn't want the job, like they were mad?
I had an intern that, well, she didn't become the intern because during our interview, she wasn't smiling and just looked like she didn't even want to
And
be
it
there.
probably was
and it's in
nerves.
marketing.
It was probably
You
nerves.
have to practice
You have to
sometimes.
practice
Yeah,
that
look in the
smile.
mirror
So
and put your
parents,
face together.
yeah,
and
like,
with
get
your
them,
parents,
and
yeah.
they're going to feel goofy, but they're going to feel goofy there too if they're nervous.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that is a good skill to learn.
Absolutely,
Great
it is.
skill.
I think we all know that. So we've been smiling this whole time. This has been fun
That's
talking
'cause
to
we
you
like
guys.
everybody.
That's right. Potential Magazine is everywhere where teens and their parents are, and you can also find it online.
Right, potentialmagazine.com. Hey, we've got a scholarship for 9th through 12th graders. We're giving it out December 1st. Go out and register.
Online.
Online. This will help pay for the tutoring and the test prep and all those things that we have.
Sounds good. Good
Yeah,
to
thanks
see
so
you.
much.
Always
You
good to
too.
see you. Thank you. Good advice there. Keep smiling.